Now you see companies like General Electric, an American company that absolutely embodied the idea that you could build things more cheaply abroad and then sell them back to Americans. It offshored as much as it could. Now GE is building a new factory in Schenectady, New York.
Schenectady, New York represents a lot of the legacy of General Electric. It's where Edison founded the company. We're investing $50 million. We're adding 200 union jobs to create what will be the largest onshore wind nacelle facility in the U.S.
I would like to think that, they would have picked Schenectady anyways, but probably not. I know the IRA has been a big part of it. So we're in upstate New York. We're probably not the lowest labor rate in the world. It is very good work for the existing skill set that we have and to bring in all this new blood that can then learn from people who've been building generators and turbines for 30 years.
General Electric's an important employer for the Schenectady area. And frankly, depending on what chapter over the last 20 years, one in which we've been reducing jobs, not adding jobs.
I'm actually a third-generation GE Schenectady employee. My grandfather started here in 1952 and retired in the 70s. My father retired after 40 years service in 2010. I work down the hall with somebody who has 5 generations. Most of the people in here have a relative who've worked in General Electric. If they're from Schenectady, you know somebody who worked for GE at some point. Schenectady peaked maybe back in the 60s and 70s with 40,000 people here. There's still 5,000 plus people on the Schenectady campus. This is by far the biggest investment that I've been a part of in my 26 years here. Factories like to know that there's work in front of them and that they're going to be here for a long time and be sustainable. And to have the business have enough confidence that Schenectady can do this, that we're the right place to put it, is just huge.
Developers are listening. They understand that because of these tax credits, they can actually thrive in the US. They can make the profits there. It will have an impact on global trade. It does look protectionist.
It is clearly designed to shift production from foreign places to America. And that's ultimately what a lot of protection is designed to do.
Some of the architects of globalization, for example, John Podesta, who is now President Biden's official in charge of the Inflation Reduction Act, he was part of the Clinton administration opening global markets, and then was part of the Obama administration that did the same. 30 years of American economic policy heading in one direction. Now, American policy is about reindustrializing its heartlands, even if that means shutting off cheap supplies from elsewhere. It is a fundamentally different approach.
We're in conversation with our allies and friends and trading partners, executed a critical minerals agreement with Japan. We have a free trade agreement with Canada and Mexico. We have a free trade agreement with Korea, which permits them to take advantage of some of the provisions of the IRA. We're in deep conversation about doing a critical minerals agreement with Europe. What the Inflation Reduction Act has demonstrated to countries around the world that they can be part of the solution.